What's going on, guys? So today I'm bringing you my Ultra Instinct Goku deck from FBO4, spiced up a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll just jump straight into it. So we took out the anniversary event, right? First place. I couldn't believe it myself with UI. Right? This deck has been like a menace, right? A lot of people have been probably trying to make it work. It's just waiting for that one card or whatever to just kind of give it that sort of boost, right? Because obviously it lacks the draw power. And it's a very kind of like situational sort of build on how you want to go about this deck. So this is my build. Personally, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to kind of like put this deck together and I'm going to test this, right? So for the last like 2 sets, I've been going hard into this now, and I think I finally found a decent build to kind of like go off here. I do have another 2 sort of alternative routes like with this deck, but I think this one's pretty solid, right? So we'll jump straight into the leader, and the leader's like obviously draws a card but awakens at 3 or less, and this has been the problem with these sort of leaders that have become a 25k base. But the unfortunate reason why this leader wasn't too good was because it was a 20k base still. Now we know that's a bit of a problem, but then the activate battle is a huge part, right? Where you choose up to one battle card, you know, and you copy its original power. So that's huge, and this is where it can become very situational, and it can be quite difficult for your opponent to kind of like go in for game 2 to close out those games, or and it can be good for you on the other end too. So that's why I was like, this. Yeah, I think this is kind of looked down upon. So, you know, low key, let's kind of get this going and see what we can make of it, right? So we'll jump into the list, and this is the list, right? So we'll start off with obviously with the Shins. Shins obviously is a master 4 of that looks for the top 3 cards, and you add any Universe 7 to your hand. This fishes out anything. Right, so you fish out any Universe 7 card. This is like basically most of the deck, right? Especially the 6 cost, and the 6 cost is huge. We'll get to that in a second. But also super combos, and that's a big thing too, because being able to search your deck and to get a super combo to hand as well is very crucial for this leader. Because obviously, like I said, you stop drawing when you're awakened, and I feel like you need that extra combo at times when you're going in, especially against decks like Janemba and androids and stuff. So it's gonna be pretty rough, but it's such a good card to have. Obviously, so we play the Makarita. I mean, this card is insane when you're awakened. For 1 energy, you give plus 10,000 power when you're to any battle card, which is huge. And then she's 10k battle combo power herself. Sorry, so that's 20k for 1 energy essentially, which is huge, and that's what you need to do with the deck. I feel the main source onto how this deck operates, right, is you need to get your draw power going on in the beginning before you awaken. You need to keep those resources flowing, right? You can't overextend. If you choose to overextend, you're going to be caught in a tight position. And then also you need your battle power to be spread out through the field. So you got other cards to help boost that in that sense. And the best thing about red is obviously the negging abilities, right? So negging is huge. You need to go right about this. You can't go too much into it, because if you choose to like use 3 cards to get rid of 1, it's gonna put you back, obviously, and you kind of need to climb that ladder back up to kind of help resource your hand and your ability to go to that late game, because obviously this is a late game sort of deck. I feel it's like a mid to late game. You want to get into those 5 cost, the 6 cost Goku, but also still cause a little bit of early game pressure. So now this is why we also got, we got the Piccolos, which is great. You just got your resourceful draw engine that you need in the deck. And this is where the Whistles come in handy. Obviously, this has been put in every single red deck you can possibly imagine. So this is just an activate main neg5 onto any battle card. We know that. 4 of. And this is where it gets a little bit kind of spicy. I like the Cauliflowers. The 2 cost 20k crit and take a life on play. I never choose to take a life because you don't want to force yourself to awaken too early as well. That's also the other part on how to play this leader. It's also on how you, like, the main source, the main idea on the deck, right, I feel, is kind of keeping your life quite high, because you want to hit that 6, you want to get to 6 energy, you want to kind of stable yourself, you want to get a decent board, you want to keep your opponent's board in check, you make sure that, it's not going too far out, and this is where these cards can help you, kind of get to that spot. They don't want to take critical pressure. That's a must. That's a given. Obviously, that's going to cause always your opponent to kind of get under the foot and go, all right, we're going to, they're going to either ditch a card from hand, or they might just let that one go, which is nice because it's good against droids. You need that extra pressure into green. Obviously, Fra is a great card, or Fuwa. The 2 cost neg 15 and then a 10k combo. That is huge, and it's in great combinations with cards such as God Kamehameha, which kills a 30k or less. So this is where you get rid of the Brolys and the Cells, the 45ks that are up there. The Freezes as well, 40k 6 cost in the yellow decks like the Janemba and such. Because these are the, you know, these monsters need to be dealt with real quick, otherwise you're just going to have a hard time. Gohan, Adolescence, we know this card, how great it is. Neg 15 on attacking, take a life as well. Of course, you choose not to take a life because you don't want to put yourself under the pump that early. If you're Awakened though, it's always good. 25k gets the extra 5k boost. It's always just such a good solid card, right? The other Gohan Adolescence 3 cost that negs 10 off the board is massive because that's good going into blue, and even yellow too. So we play 2 of them. Obviously, we play 4 of these Gohans as well, and 4 of the Froids. Now this is where I was like, okay, yellow now has the answer to Jiren, right? But it's not the fact that we kind of want to go, all right, let's just dump Jiren and just forget about him anymore, right? And this is where probably people kind of started freaking out that we're playing these red decks and going, now I don't have any resources back from Jiren. The ability is so good to activate in battle, take a life, and then it replenishes a life when he's in rest mode. The fact that he can't be carried once per turn, but that can be dealt with the Freezer now, right? The Secret Rare Freezer. I say still play this card. The reason being is because you do want your opponent to tap out for it. So you do want them to kind of like, if they're playing Janemba, they're playing Freezer, right? You're going to be playing 4, they're going to untap 2 on the swing, and then they're going to use the 2 to get rid of that Jiren. That's fine. You want to cause them to go down that route, and you want to bait them into that position. And I feel this is kind of like what you want to do moving forward with this deck. Just a 2 of the Jiren as well, because you still need to keep that engine there. You know, he's very resourceful for this leader. Goku needs it. UI does need that draw, and you get that extra draw from life every time and replenish that life. It's going to go a long way. The thing is, they still have to deal with it, right? They got to deal with Jiren. Otherwise, if they don't, you're just going to be taking advantage of it every single time. He's a 30k swing as well, which is always nice, and that beater on the board is just going to cause them a lot more pressure. Obviously, 1 Kefla. There's a reason why this card got limited to 1. It's such a busted card. Draws a card, plays a battle card 3 or less from hand with Tournament of Power, and that's where the Gohans you get advantage of. And then she gets the +5 and you awaken. In this deck, it can be situational because there's times where you go into it and go, you might as well play maybe the Jiren as well, because I can see myself getting a little bit more value out of that. Or maybe just hitting the Adolescence, the other one, the 3 cost that negs 10 off the board, because unfortunately you can't get, obviously, that off the Kefla effect, because it doesn't have the Tournament of Power, which is a little bit, yeah, not good in my eyes. I don't know why they didn't put Tournament of Power in the trade of that Gohan. I'm pretty sure a lot of people maybe have asked that question in the past. But yeah, anyway, here we are. So we deal with what we got, right? So we play 1 of her, obviously, because she's limited to that 1. Now this card, I feel, is probably the MVP of the deck. You run it in Universe 7 build, the Goku, because it's, you know, obviously if you're leader, has that tray until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills, right? Which is massive. Just skills. That's anything. Just, it's going to stick. And then it gets plus 20,000 power as well. So it's a 45k unremovable on the board. And then when he swings, you minus 10k off one of your opponent's battle cards too. So you got two really good effects. You're basically going to have this card on the board for 2 turns no matter what, right? So you take advantage of that situation. It's a very hit and miss case point and scenario on where you want to play, but I feel this Freezer is just such a good card. You get to that energy, you want to dump him down really quick and early, because in that way you can just start causing that 45k pressure onto your opponent. You're minusing 10 off something, and then also if you're awakened, you can copy that ability off the activate battle from your leader. So it's really good. You got access to a 45k there, guaranteed to get out of any swing. Pretty much anyway. So that's a 4 of Rumishi, the elephant. This card I replaced from the 5-cost Goku, essentially, before. The 5-cost Goku was the starter one with the double striker, neg 20 on play. Just was 0k combo as well. It was a little bit, you know, like I was saying, that is in like another sort of build, I feel. I did test with, and it was okay. Playing like a 1 of is nice. Because that with like Glimpse is really good going in for endgame. But Rimshi's just too good. He just kills a 30k on play, and then you got a 30k beater on the board, which is huge. So you're essentially most times getting rid of 2 cards, if not getting rid of a card no matter what, 30k or less, and then causing 30k pressure onto your opponent, and then you got that in the activate battle with your leader ability to give another 30k pressure. The fact that he's a 10k combo is big as well. That's really nice. 3 of them was a sweet spot, I felt. It was really nice to see him at that point. And then we got the big boy. And this is the big boy that we were talking about before, earlier, that this card is just the reason why we play this deck, right? The reason why this deck can function, probably like at least I feel 70%, 80% of the deck, because, you know, the other ones do tweak in and give you that kind of, you know, good control aspect to the deck, but it's also, this card's just so good. The 6 cost, obviously we know what it does until the the end of your opponent's next turn. Negate the next damage you take, which is huge. Just negates any damage, which is great. And then you choose all your opponent's battle cards and minus 20,000 power off it on the swing, and it's 40k. Massive. And this is the reason why this, you know, this leader can at least somewhat work, right? But it's making it work. And it's all the little knickknacks that help it get there. So this card here, we run 3 in the deck. I'd probably do recommend go up to 4. 4 is needed. The only reason why I do run 3 is because I only have 3 personally. I couldn't get another one, but I'm telling you now, I will run 4. So this is a 4 of, and this card is huge. This is just closes out games. It's so good, and this is what helped me in the situation against Janemba, and helped me win the game. So it's really, really good. Best card, good card, good card, good card. So super combo. Obviously we got the Whistles, and like I said before, they're great with the shins that can be searched out for. 2 God Kamehamehas, and the God Kamehamehas are great. You know, for if you don't have any battle cards on your field, it gets reduced down to 1 energy, so you just get rid of a 30k easy. And with, obviously, like I was saying before, with the Foie or anything like that, or if you've got a Gohan established on board or something, you get rid of 45k is really easy. 1 Glimpse. This Glimpse is very situational. It's a great card. I would love to play more. I just don't see myself really. I mean, look, you could put it up to 2. Like I said before, it's a situational card. You've got to be in that position. You've got to have a 30k or more on the field as well to get the effect off, to get a battle card that's 4 or less from your drop area back to hand, which is just essentially grabbing like another 10k combo, right? Or you just fish out back the Kefla, you know, so you can get a bit more value out of that. If you're in that position, you can be like, cool, I can play like a Kefla and a Gohan next turn. I can get an extra draw off that. Then got 2 25k swings, and I'm putting a bit more pressure back onto my opponent. It's quite nice. But the Glimpse is just like, okay, 25k, that's good also in combinations with cards like Frieza or Jiren. I mean, really any card, any big monster card, right, like that. But I feel like Glimpse is also that card that you can just beef up one of your other battle cards and then copy that battle card from your leader ability. So you got that extra boost in the base power, right? So you can get over your opponent's swings really easy, especially if they're going in for game with like a 20 or 30k base card, and they're just comboing out hand, and you've got something established on board like a Freezer or a Rimshi or something like that, or even the Goku itself. You can just like copy that battle power, but you can just beef it up with the Glimpse. You know, all of a sudden you're like a 65 or a 55k base on top of that, and then you just combo on that. It's quite nice. And you can see there's a lot more thought into this deck. That's why the deck is very it can be very difficult to play. I do feel it's kind of like more of that high skill cap, but it's also like, it does run good red stuff, as you know. Everyone knows how good the red is. It's just how you perform with it, right? It's what avenues you choose to take and what plays you make, right? So it's just, you gotta really think more with this deck because of the fact that the leader does not draw on the awakened side, and you've only got the activate battle skill for that one time. So you got to make that count. Tournament of Power Arena. And this card is huge. We play 3 of them. You got to get that out early, because you get that extra 5k buff without having to overextend your hand. And this is what I was talking about before with these abilities, that you need to buff your leader in order to not overextend in your hand, so you keep cards. Otherwise, you're going to get to a point in the game, you're just going to bleed out. And this is why this deck has been so hard to kind of fathom, to get together. But look, we've made it work. Give it a shot if you like. I think this is a great deck. I've got some really cool ticky-tacky ideas that I want to throw in there too. I'm always kind of trying out sort of like the other side of the meta to kind of see what I can make work. And then I feel this is probably like a really good sort of solid put together for UI. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the profile. Test it out, like I said. Give it a shot, give it a crack. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We always love your feedback. And yeah, like always, stay tuned. We will bring you back more content shortly. Thanks, guys.